Five Nights at Freddy's is a game that needs no introduction. It was the brainchild of Scott Cawthon, who's pretty much the Stephen King of the video game industry now. And in today's video, we start our journey to review every FNAF game under the sun, starting off with the very first Five Nights at Freddy's game. FNAF 1 was actually my gateway into horror games because at the time of this game's release, I was slowly already starting to watch scary movies on my own, so naturally I decided to play some scary games. And when it comes to the FNAF games, I feel like this one has just aged like a fine wine. I feel like this game's atmosphere is why it's looked back on so fondly. It really does feel like a kid's pizza place just after hours, and I will admit, while this game doesn't scare me as much anymore, while playing it, you still get this really unnerving, creepy feeling. And combining Chuck E. Cheese animatronics with horror elements was really just a match made in heaven. Not to mention, Freddy and the gang are very good antagonists because of the fact that their character designs are just so good. You could totally buy the fact that a kid would want to go to this place and see these characters, but when they're hunting you at night, these guys just turn into absolute monsters, and it works so well. The gameplay of this one is also pretty simple. You mainly just use the cameras to keep tabs on the animatronics to make sure they aren't anywhere near your office. If they get too close, you slam a door in their face, they leave, and the cycle just kind of continues. It would be that simple if it wasn't for the fact that you have a limited power supply. And the cameras, doors, and lights use up a lot of power, so you have to be very strategic about how you use the tools that you've been given. This adds a ton of strategy to the game, and because of the fact that every animatronic functions differently, it can really keep you on your toes. It can also add a lot of stress when you don't have a lot of power left and the animatronics are getting more and more aggressive. The limited power supply really does go a long way with making the player feel scared, because the more and more your power starts to drop, the more and more things really start to feel hopeless. And that definitely increases the fear of getting jump scared. Speaking of which, I find the jump scares in this game to be really good. They are very fast and loud and can catch the player off guard. After dying a lot in the game, obviously you get less and less scared of the jump scares, but I will admit those first few times really are effective. When it comes to the story of the first game, it's pretty simplistic, but it's also very vague. You play as Mike Schmidt, a security guard who is tasked with watching over Freddy Fazbear's at night. A dude on the phone tells you the reason why the animatronics are moving around at night is because of their programming, but with little hints throughout the game and some Easter eggs, you learn that the animatronics are actually haunted, and were actually 5 kids that actually got murdered in this location. And these 5 murders would be the thing to kickstart the insane ride that is the FNAF lore. Now, I do have my own theories on the overarching lore of this series, and I am very passionate about it, but I probably won't go too in-depth with it in these videos just because it would make them longer than they need to be. When it comes to the stories of these games, I'm probably only going to give you the Cliff Notes versions of what I perceive the story as in each of the games, just because I feel like it would be a lot easier to digest. But overall, Five Nights at Freddy's still manages to be a very good horror game to this day. This was one of the first ever horror games I played when I was young, and it has a very special place in my heart because of that. This game also managed to kickstart a lot of famous YouTubers' careers, and I can't thank it enough for that. But those are just my thoughts on FNAF 1, and I'll see you in whatever my next project ends up being.